Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. Retailers are in trouble and they are deeply worried. Up and down the country, high streets are struggling. We know this. They have been for some time, but this year it is particularly bad. People are worried for the future, and when people get worried, they tend not to spend. They save, they invest, they make sure that they have cash because cash is king. And so the shops are struggling. Figures have been released for November, and it shows a 5.8% drop in sales over a one-year period from the previous November. This is at a time when inflation has been sort of rampant, and you'd think that even the effects of inflation would be figured in, and therefore the turnover would be higher. And no. And so this 5.8% drop is actually masked by that high inflation. And it would probably be, I'm going to suggest speculatively, but realistically, nearer to a 10% real terms drop. Stores don't know what to do. There's been a 7.8, nearly 8% drop in online sales. This will continue. We're on the run up now, the last couple of weeks, 3 weeks before Christmas. And if things don't turn around PDQ, it could be one of the worst Christmas periods for retail, perhaps in living memory. Certainly it's already likely to be worse than 2008 when you had the worldwide recession. And boy, I remember that. A lot of people either lost their jobs or had wages cut. And they still managed a fairly okay Christmas. This year could be worse. Fashion apparently is very bad. I don't have a problem with fashion. Fashion is very destructive for the world. You spend millions of pounds growing cotton and using about 10 times the amount of water to grow cotton than any other plant on the planet. You then have to process the cotton. You send that processed cotton halfway around the world. They then cut it, roll it, deal with it, turn it into cotton thread. It goes somewhere else. It gets turned into cloth. It goes somewhere else. They cut it into a T-shirt. It goes somewhere else and they put it in a store. It's the most travelled plant in the world. Why? So that you can buy a T-shirt for £3. Come on, people. Just because it's last week's T-shirt, you have to throw it away and get this week's T-shirt. How about we just start buying quality clothes that last for years and say, screw you to the fashion houses? But that's another matter. That's another video for another day. But yeah, fashion massively harmed. Household goods down again massively. People either have the things they need, and the only ones that are really buying are the ones that are replacing, And of course, with fewer people moving home now, there's less need for all those replacement stuffs. It is absolutely immensely bad. Apparently, the Black Friday sale didn't go as well as they thought. We don't have the figures for Amazon, which usually does very well on Black Friday. But generally up and down, Black Friday has proved to be a bit of a disappointment. And it's just not working with them. When you're getting an 8 or possibly, as I say, 10% cut in turnover, and you're doing so at the busiest time of year, it is no wonder that these shops are struggling. And I suspect that after Christmas, there'll be a few more going into receivership. Boots is already likely to fall, and that's not just because of falling numbers, of course. It's because they went woke and alienated the 95 or 97% of the country that aren't black. But there you go. That was a political choice they made, and boy, was that a bad choice. Heads must roll. But they won't be alone. There'll be lots. And soon, the high streets up and down the country will be boarded up. There'll be very few shops. Once you get boarded up shops, you don't really want to go to the high street anymore. And so those shops that remain see a falling footfall. And then they go out of business. It's one thing following another. It's like dominoes. And soon every high street will just be filled with dominoes, won't it? Pizza shops, chicken shops, anywhere that takes cash only, Turkish barbers, because the only people actually open for business will be those trying to launder money for the drug gangs. Let's face it, that's the way it goes. Voucher codes are going down. Everything. Cinema sales down. This is the time when people take time off and go to the cinema, see the big blockbuster. Well, they're not even doing that now. And how can you? You're paying £13, £14 minimum for a ticket. You're paying £5, £10, maybe more for some nibbles. a family of 4 and it's 200 quid before you start. It's a joke. Who's got that kind of money in a time when people are worried? But it's amounting to billions upon billions coming out of the retail sector at a time when they need massive increases. And of course, come January as well, all those shops will suddenly have higher employment costs. They'll get rid of people. It's as simple as that. Well done to the Labour Party. You've got to say, sterling work when it comes to destroying an economy. I've never seen anyone do it quicker. Except maybe the American Air Force and Japan in 1945. But even then, that was only temporary. This is terminal decline. It may never come back. We're living in a different era now. Who the hell will want to go down the high street? No thanks. And it's done. It's a strange world. They seem to want to do it. It seems to be deliberate, doesn't it? It seems to have been a deliberate ploy. But Sophie Michael, the head of retail and wholesale at BDO, said the results are disastrous for the retail sector, and with just 3 more weeks of the golden quarter left, things are unlikely to turn around. She said, despite all the hype for Black Friday and Cyber Monday, there's been heavy and prolonged discounting for some time now, and stock is still not shifting. Now, when you get the head of these organisations saying, we don't know what to do, you know it's serious, and you know it's terminal, and you know it's coming. And it seems to be a perfect storm. It seems to have been everything put on at once. Obviously, with the rising taxes, you've got that problem. You've got the uncertainty of the future. You've got global inflation that's been high recently. You've got the fears of interest rate hikes again coming because of the high inflation. You've got the uncertainties of what's going on India, China, with the Middle East, with Russia, Ukraine. People are getting worried. And then, of course, everyone just looks at number 10 and goes, balls, man, we are in deep, deep trouble. So they're keeping their money, or more often, taking it out of the country, moving their wealth, shifting everything. And once the rich people go, they're the ones that buy stuff. Top-end stuff, not going to sell, is it? Even medium-level stuff isn't going to sell. So everything's just going to be pound shops, charity shops, and laundromats, money laundering. That's it. That's all that's going to be left. Welcome to Pound World Britain, as designed by the socialists. Marxism, what a joy. Got to feel sorry for the people about to lose their jobs, though. That isn't going to be a very Merry Christmas for them. Let me know what you think. Till next time, stay safe, stay well. I'll speak to you later. Bye.